Hi YouTubers. I want to talk about something very important in this video about financial literacy while in college. Now, everyone knows that when you're in college, if you elect to get loans and you get grants and you get scholarships, sometimes it's easy to mistake the money that you have left over in that semester as just free money to just have a field day with, but that's not always the case. So I want you to avoid one of the pitfalls that unfortunately I had to face, and it wasn't because of carelessness. I'm very, very good with money, so I don't squander and I don't spend foolishly. So anyway, long story short, let's say you're in a situation where you have 1,500 in scholarship, 1,500 in grants, and let's say 4,000 in loans, so that's 7,000 total. Now let's say your tuition per semester is about 5,000, right? So that leaves you with 2,000, right? So you have 2,000 left over and you think, oh yeah, I got 2,000 left over. This is money I could go shopping with and I could do this and that with. No. If you're smart, if you have money left over at the end of the semester, and let's say, in this situation it would be $2,000, then you need to say, go to your financial aid office and say, hey, I have 2,000 left over. I want to send this back to the loan company. Okay, don't think that because you have the extra 2K that you could just take it and just buy clothes and just go party and just go shopping and have a good old time, because you're going to have to pay back that money and you're going to have to pay it back with interest, and it's really not worth it. Now, if somebody had broke this down to me, when I was in college, I think I could have avoided some of the situations, but unfortunately I had a financial advisor within the college that was not, I don't know how to say this nicely. She just didn't. I don't even know. I'm lost for words. But anyway, long story short, I was in a situation where I had like a few thousand left over after the grant scholarships and loans, and I said, hey, I have this left over. I want to send it back, to the loan agent. And she said to me, oh, no, well, interest already accrued on it already, so I mean it doesn't really matter. And so she never sent it back to the loan company. So then that also happened to be the semester where I had to take out a private loan under my name, and granted I did not have any credit at the time, so you can imagine like my interest rate was 12.25%, like exorbitant, right? It's like ridiculously high. And I was quite upset about it when I finished school, because I was like, look at this situation. I realized that I had gotten way too much money back, and I was trying to send it back, and she told me not to do it. But usually when they package you, that's something that they should tell you. So whenever you get your financial package and you realize that you have money left over, if you do not have a dire situation, do not use that money. Send that money back right away before they even allocate it to your account. So if you see that you're going to have 2K left over, and let's say, you have a part-time job or something like that, once you budgeted how much you need for that semester, or how much you spend a month or within those months, send that money back before interest starts to accrue on it. If you don't need the money, don't waste the money. I mean, and what was kind of interesting in my situation is I went to a private college, so it was, I don't even remember, I think it was 5K a quarter. It wasn't even a semester, it was like quarterly or something like that. It was very expensive, yet I saw people retake classes over and over and over, and I'm just like, what is wrong with them? And at the time I wasn't really thinking so much about the financial aspect of it, because some people, to be honest with you, had rich mommies and daddies that kind of took care of that. But why would you want to waste your time as well? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's an accelerated college, so I would think that most people that went to the college wanted to get in and get out, like I wanted to get in and get out. So if you're going to go, for instance, part-time, which is what that kind of equates to if 3 years is taking you 5 years, why not go to a traditional college? Why go to a private college and spend all that money, and then you have interests accumulating on your previous loans and it's just lingering and you just end up paying all this unnecessary money. Like, don't be financially illiterate. You know what I mean? Just because you have loans doesn't mean that you should spend like crazy. As a matter of fact, the more loans you have to take out because you don't have enough grants or enough scholarships, the more financially conservative that you need to be, because this is money that you're going to have to pay back. Yes, while you're in college, you don't think about these things because, I mean, as long as you're enrolled at least half time, you don't have to pay on these loans, so it just seems like you're having a good old jolly time. But what happens when that time is up, and let's say in my situation, graduated in the heart of a recession? Like, what are you going to do? And if you have private loans, they don't care if you don't have a job. At least you can defer the federal loans, but the private loans, you can't defer that. So you better do something. Doesn't matter if you have, a PhD in philosophy or a PhD in psychology. You better go to Burger King. Not that there's anything wrong working at Burger King, but you better find some kind of job, and you're going to have to pay that money every month. So don't be financially illiterate. Don't squander money. Don't think just because you have money left over that that's just money to free reign and just do whatever, whenever, and just be stupid. If anything, if you have money left over and you're gonna use it to do something wise, like something related to business. Like if you're entrepreneurial and you can use that extra 2K and invest in your business, and you know that you're financially disciplined enough to actually put it into your business, by all means use it as an opportunity to save up the money and put it towards your business. And at least you're making money from the money. You're not just letting it slip through the cracks. You're actually, multiplying it, which I think is a brilliant idea. But don't just think because you have money left over that is money to take, because some people don't know this. Like my parents, my mother didn't get to finish college because she had me. And then my dad, he went to a technical college, and he had his little freelancing things that he did on the side anyway, so he paid for it out of pocket. So this whole loan thing is something that was very new to him. Oh, and also, just so you know, Sally Mae and all those companies aren't the only companies that you can get loans from. Go to your bank. I had absolutely no idea at the time that I could have went to one of the banks that I banked with for years and actually get a loan, sometimes up to 10K, from these companies, and the interest rates might be good. And I would have been better off, for instance, going to Washington Mutual and getting a 10K loan than the 10K private loan that I had to get. You know what I mean? So it's these little things, because everyone's parents don't necessarily go to college, and some that did might have went to college when it was cheaper, or maybe when they went there were no such things as loans, or loans were harder to come by, so they just went to school and worked and paid for it out of pocket as they went along, and then they don't have to worry about that. But also the cost of education is so high these days compared to when your parents might have went to college. So just be informed and just be disciplined. I know sometimes it can be very difficult, but trust me, there's people that I know that got a $60,000 plus degree, went to my school, that they're not even working in the field, or they're just working retail. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, you would think, did you really have to pay 60,000 plus to work retail? No, you could have just did that straight out of high school. So just be responsible and think about the consequences of how you spend and what you're spending on. And if it's not necessary, if you don't need the money, especially if you have a part-time job, or if your parents send you money monthly and an allowance, then just send back the money. Don't be tempted by it, because it's going to accumulate interest on it and you're going to have to pay it back. So that $10 burger that you're paying for today might be $20 in 15 years, or $40 in 25 years. Like, that's the way that it works. So, don't be financially illiterate.